Hello people, I'm Jaby Koay, joined by Achara KIRK.
Hello.
And the director of Ribbon, RAKHEE Sandilya. Hello.
Hi.
Are you in Mumbai?
Yes.
How are you feeling? Like, because your film is out, and it's like, it's out there.
I mean, while the film was about to be released, I was very nervous because, you know, this is my first feature film. The whole experience of making a film and then taking it to theater and, you know, showing it to people, it was literally a very nervous experience for me because I had no clue how the people would, see the film and then get back to me about it. So there was a kind of nervousness, but at the same time I was excited because I have been working on this project for almost about 2 years. So even I wanted that, thing to come out. It was kind of a very mixed feeling. I was not able to sleep at night. Now it's all settled. It's all good.
I have a lot of questions. So
Yeah.
What was this the first film you've ever tried to make? Like was this the first feature film you've ever tried to make?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you got it done.
Yes. I was very sure that, you know, I have to make a film that would portray what India is today.
Okay.
And what are the problems that woman faces in their lives.
Yeah.
Because there is so much of a stress, there is so much of focus going on about educating women, about empowering women. But at the same time, there are many issues that is not being handled properly. There are many things that I see around myself. You know, I see my friends struggling with it. I always wanted to make a film where I could address these things. And you know, in India, even though you make a good documentary, it doesn't make sense because you don't have a right system to reach out to people.
Right.
So you have to, make a film to reach out to wider audience.
We were talking to Sumit. He said that your background was originally in documentaries. Is that why you felt so impassioned to go ahead and make this film, because you wanted to reach more people?
Yes, I am actually a documentary filmmaker and I have made documentary films. But I felt that, after making the film, it's very difficult to reach out to the real audience. You only reach out to few selected people who are not directly affected by these things. The strata of people who see these documentary and talk about it, that it's just a luxury for them.
Yeah.
It doesn't go to the people who are actually, involved in the system or maybe affected by it. I realized that, I should make film, then talk about some issues in the film. You can make a good film and you can highlight these issues. There have been some great filmmakers in India. Like, I was doing a documentary film about history of Indian cinema, and then I came across some filmmakers like V. Shantaram or even Raj Kapoor Saab. I mean, they are some of the filmmakers who have highlighted the issues that the society faced immediately after our independence, and they are beautifully made films. Now, when I see those films, I understand what are the problems that our society faced in 40s or in 50s.
Okay.
So I'm very influenced by those kind of films where we can talk in little bit about what we face on our day-to-day, the challenges, and how we can counter those challenges, and what are the ways that we can still live our life the best possible way while dealing with these challenges.
So are you like relaxing now, or are you already on to the next movie that you want to make?
I never relax in my life. I don't know why. I am already working on other projects.
Feature films, not documentaries.
No. I'm doing another feature film.
Oh, excellent.
I'm writing the script right now.
Cool.
I write the script with Rajiv Upadhyay. We write it together.
Okay.
So the other project is on that we are pretty much in the process. The research is on.
Okay.
A lot of things is happening. Yeah.
If you need a random American to be like, hi, they went that way. I'm your guy.
Sure.
And Achara will do an item number, no problem.
Yeah, I can do an item number. I got you.
How long was principal photography on Ribbon?
25 days.
Okay.
We shot in one go for we shot for 22 days and then we shot another 3 days. So in one go, we shot for 25 days.
I was watching the behind the scenes of Noah some time back, and one of the things Darren Aronofsky talked about was how there was so much preparation, and then he got 10 minutes to talk to his actors. Did you have that feeling at all? Like it was all, like there was not enough time sometimes to talk to your actors, or you felt like you got ample time when you were on set?
No, I had ample time to talk to my actors. Also, before I went on set, we had prepared a lot. Sumit and Kalki, I made sure that, they know each other much better. They are very comfortable with each other. And also, they should act very much like a normal couple.
Right.
So we would go and stay at Sumit's place all day. We'll do workshop. We'll make chai. We'll eat his food. Or maybe, we'll go at Kalki's place. We'll eat food at her place. But we would stay almost, 8 to 10 hours.
Wow.
And we'll make sure that they rehearse every scene. So they have rehearsed the whole script at least 4 to 5 times.
Wow.
Then we would discuss, okay, this we can keep, this we don't want to keep.
Right.
And the reasons why we don't want to keep. And also always, telling them, no, this is how Sahana would do, this is how Karan would do, this is not how, they would do. So, because you have to always tell them, no, this is, this is the way that I want it.
When I was watching it, sorry, did you have a question? When I was watching it, because I'm like focused in on that style of long takes, I would catch my attention more when it cut. Did you always know when you wanted to cut, or was it more of a practical thing like, okay, this shot, we've been doing this so long, and it's at this point where it's not working, so we'll just cut here? Like, how did you decide when you wanted to cut?
I was very clear that every scene should have minimum number of cuts.
Right.
There should not be any cut. So wherever you see cut, it is something that I had to decide it on the edit table, and that was a call that I had to take. Otherwise, there has been few scenes which would just go for very long. At times, you are not able to control few things, especially the song sequence.
Okay, that was the one I was going to talk to you about. That's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah, I mean, the song sequence is something where we were not sure how to, because the songs are cut on rhythm.
Right.
So it is cut on beats, and if we would have stayed for very long on on one side or on the other side, then it's just, and nothing much is happening, if you see. So it would just, my editor, he said that it will just bore the audience. You don't want to bore them to death because nothing is happening. To keep the pace and to also keep the rhythm of the song, you have to cut it. Right. Although we were not happy, neither me nor Raji, both of us, we were not happy that, we should cut it. But that's something that we had to take a call, because if we would not have done, intercut, then probably the song would have been a little draggy.
Right.
Although I was not happy at all.
So that's one thing you would have changed then.
Yeah.
How is it the same or different telling a narrative in a documentary versus telling a fiction story? I
feel documentary is something much more challenging than a feature film, because in the film, especially people like me, I'll talk for myself, where I plan everything. I'm somebody who plans a small needle where that has to go. And we had planned way before how we were shooting the whole film, what would be the characters like, how much Karan would walk, what he will do, what would be the movements in their houses, what would be the body language for him before 3 years and after the baby becomes 3 years old. So there has been a lot of research that we incorporated in the film. Everything goes by plan. About 80% you go by plan. But in documentary, you plan something, but it never goes the way you have planned. In documentary, there are every chances that you can just deviate from your subject. Because once you have started working on something, then there would be too many other issues involved with that subject.
Right.
And everything would be so interesting to you that you would feel like, okay, let me cover this. That is also making sense to me. And let me cover that. That is also making sense to me. Right. A lot of times you go to people to shoot and they are not ready to face cameras.
Right.
So this has happened to me when I was doing a documentary on surrogate mothers. I was asking some question from one of the women's surrogate mother's husband, and he became very angry on me. He said, what do you think, you guys cut your hair in a modern way and wear jeans, and you think life is just easy for everyone, then I had to, just calm him down, and I had to tell him that, no, I'm only here to share your story. I have no perspective of my own. You have to face real people, real challenges, when you do documentary.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things that stood out to me in Ribbon was the lighting, because there were certain scenes where it was dark, and I'm not used to seeing Indian films where it's just comfortable in the dark. Was that a conscious choice, or was that more like, okay, that was a conscious choice? Like, how did you come to that decision, and did you feel nervous at all exploring a picture that way?
No, I was not nervous at all, because I always felt that this film has to portray realism. The whole beauty of the film was to be as realistic as possible. That was a very conscious decision that I took, where I wanted the film to be like a fly on the wall, where I'm just showing one couple's life which could just relate to you. Or maybe you can just see, oh, this is happening in my living room as well, or in my bedroom as well.
Right, that was my thought.
In our real lives, when we go from dark to light or light to dark, that's how we do,
Right. Was there anything in our review where you're like, oh, you just didn't get it?
You guys have very, I would say, very intelligently done the review. I mean, I was very impressed with the way you guys had done review for the trailer. One of my assistant who works in my team, he's your huge fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he would always say, I really want them to review our trailer. They are very good. They are very good. I'm not that much of an internet person. When I met Sumit, I had no idea he is such a big star on, on internet. Like,
really?
He's such a huge, yeah. I'm a little old-fashioned. I like to read, or maybe, do other things. I mean, looking at the review, there are few things that only me and Rajiv knew, because we as writers wanted to show. But you picked it up.
Okay.
You picked it up. So that was, that was good. That was very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing everything you're saying, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking. I knew what she was going for.
Yeah. It was very clearly communicated.
Yeah. Because I loved it. I really loved it. I was just ecstatic. She can tell you. I kept yapping about the movie for like an hour after we finished watching it. So
it was really good.
I'm glad that, I got to make the film the way I wanted to make the film, because my producers never intervened into my vision, because otherwise there are many times when you get external forces to influence you, where you are asked to put songs, or maybe, do things differently, or, that was a huge relief while making this film.
How come in that final argument you focused on Kalki, and was the doctor scene real?
Doctor scene real, yes.
So, that was a real doctor.
She is not a real doctor. All the actors, they are all from theatre. So there is a English theatre group in Mumbai, and all these actors are from theatre. This woman, Veena Nair, who had played doctor's role, she spent almost about a month or a month and a half researching on her character, and she would sit in one corner in one of the pediatrician's room and then see how the doctors actually interact with the kids. So she was just there to, she called me a few days back just to inform me that, she took two of the doctors who she had done her research with to see the film. And even the doctors were surprised with the way she has come across. I mean, they had goosebumps. They said, how did you do that?
That was my favorite scene. That was my favorite scene in the whole movie, because it was just it was so simple but so powerful. Yes. But how come you focused on Kalki in that final argument? I'm very curious about that.
I never wanted to focus it on Kalki. I wanted to focus it on both Kalki and Sumit.
Yeah.
But what would happen that, it was almost about 10th or 11th take of that fighting scene that we finally had to, what would happen that when Sumit is angry, he would just come in the frame and walk out of the frame, come in the frame, walk out of the frame. So and Kalki would stand static. So if we, there are certain takes where I just said to Vikram, my DP, that, move your camera. So when he would move camera with Sumit's movement, because he would come and go, so there was never a time when we would get a perfect shot.
Oh.
We spent almost about 3 to 4 days editing that scene, because there were many options that was given to me by my editor, where he would say that, Rakhi, this is a very powerful scene where we need to see Sumit's face as well. So he would insert Sumit's dialogue, or maybe, and then cut it to Kalki, and then cut it to Sumit. It was just not going in my head. I just felt that I'm trying to force that anger,
right,
cutting it to Sumit. Whereas if I'm just keeping the shot as a fly on the wall and just seeing, okay, so this is a reaction and this is a sound coming from the other end of the living room, I can still sense it, because see, as a couple, we all have fought in our life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We all know.
Right.
I'm keeping the emotion pure. I'm not trying to, force it by cutting it here and then cutting it there and then cutting, because you cannot have just one cut. You have to have at least 2 or 3 cuts. Otherwise, that too also looks very, abrupt for your eyes. I asked my editor, okay, tell me, if it would have been your film, what would you have? What would you have done? Because you are telling me, okay, cut it. So he told me, see, going by the style of your film, if it would have been my film, I would not have cut it. I'm like, there you go, you have the answer. Right. So let's not cut it, let it be how it is.
How did you get the little girl to do all the things that she did? Because it was just amazing. Like, especially the doctor scene. That's what blew me away, was the doctor scene. Like, how did you get her to perform that scene?
I will give all that credit to Kalki. That is something that Kalki got it done for me.
Wow.
Because that girl is very camera conscious. She does a lot of ads and stuff, and she knows that, where to look and how to. So whenever we would do rehearsal, Kalki got this, she sensed it quite early. She was very friendly to her on the set. They were like mother-daughter. She told me that whenever we do rehearsal, never ever include her, because she would know how to react. Always put her, when you are doing your scene. Never get her used to rehearsals. And that was a trick that we followed throughout our shoot, and that is how she has reacted so naturally. She wouldn't know. Even during that fight scene in that school committee, she wouldn't know that it's actually a shoot. She thought it's actually happening for real, and that's how she reacted. Yeah.
What is it like being a female filmmaker in India? Like, are there challenges, or is it just the same as everyone else?
I belong to a group of young filmmakers. For us, I feel there is very little difference between between a man and a woman when it comes to filmmaking, at least for me. I never faced any challenge in terms of being a woman film director. Yes, if I would have worked with people who are a little older, people who are quite senior to me, then probably, yes, they would have said that, she's a woman, how she would handle a crew of 200 people and, stuff like that. But I had most of the people who worked with me, they were all very young, in their early 30s to, 30 to 35 or 40. Nobody felt that I know less than any other man would know. They had a lot of conviction in the way I had designed the shots. Everybody knew what they are doing. All the other technicians who had worked with me on this project, they are all very well experienced people. I mean, some of them are award-winning people. So they all came on board and they supported my vision. And never made me realize that, I'm a female here. So that was a very good thing. And also I had quite a lot of women technicians as well in my team.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, there are a lot of women now working in India.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Do you have any advice for any young filmmakers who are, wanting to break into the industry?
Yeah, it's not easy to be a filmmaker. It's one of the most difficult things to be a filmmaker, because you are exposed to the world. When you tell a story, you are exposed to the world. People would come and they would say anything about creation that you have done.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready for that. My stories come from my soul, from my heart, which I strongly believe in. So you are taking your soul away from your body and you are giving it to the world. So you have to understand that it's not easy. It's a difficult job. But if you really want to make films, if you really want to be a filmmaker, then just do it. There is no looking back. Just do it. And although it's a difficult job, but if you are passionate, I think, and because it's all about how much you love making film, how much you love telling stories, and that's the kind of feel that I think really gives you a different energy. Like getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going on your set, and then coming back at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or at night, and then crashing on bed, and then it's just a different feeling altogether.
Well, Rakhi, you have truly inspired me, and
oh my God, no.
I really hope that I can work with you someday, because I think that what you're doing is awesome, and I'm really excited about whatever you're doing next. I loved Ribbon. I really loved Ribbon. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a script which is kind of a love story. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Sumit was telling me that you had visited India, like
in February.
Yeah, in February.
He didn't tell me about this. I was a little bit annoyed. I'm like, see, because I asked him, when did you shoot this? He's like, right before you came. I'm like, and you said nothing. You said nothing to me.
Oh my God! And we had shot for 3 days in February.
Yeah.
So yeah, I said, okay, whenever JB comes next, please let me know, because I would love to meet you as well.
Yeah.
I mean, and also our film has been selected as a closing night film in SAF, South Asian International Film Festival.
Oh wow!
Oh, cool.
I'm arranging all the stuff for Sumit, so he might be going in December. So the festival is from 13th of December to 17th of December. I spoke to Sumit yesterday, and he said, "Yeah, I'm quite keen in going there." I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
So
well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. I mean,
thank you.
It's not that often like that you get to watch a movie that you end up loving and then get to talk to the director afterwards. Like this is a special experience for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Well, like every question we had, there was an answer. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like, I hope I'm that good someday. Jesus Christ.
Wowza.
Like, cause every time I had a question, she was like on it, and she had like
Yeah.
this full answer. I'm like, you could literally write a book off the things she says. Just sitting down with her for a couple of hours.
I mean, she clearly had a really strong vision, and like it really came across.
Well, the thing that was delightful for me was everything she was saying. I'm like, that's exactly what I thought happened. That's exactly what I felt happened. Like whenever it cut, I'm like, there has to be a reason for this that's more technical than it is about the emotion. Like when she was talking about the musical scene, I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought happened. When she was talking about where it pushed in on Kalki, I'm like, yeah, see, that's what I felt like was probably happening there.
Yeah.
And like it really connected with me. I mean, I know that like you're well aware of that. I'm just more for you guys at this point. But it just like, it really connected with me on a deep level. And I'm hearing her talk about it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like it's just weird. It's almost like, it's just such a weird reference. But did you ever watch American Dad? I think the father character's name is Stan. And he's like really against rock music, his daughter's music. But then he goes to the concert and hears it for the first time.
Oh, yeah,
and he's like, oh my God, this music speaks to me. and he like is flying through the air as he's having like this hallucination of like connecting with the music. I kind of had that with this movie where I'm just like, I totally get what the film is doing. I love it. So hopefully I didn't like make her uncomfortable.
I was just really like, cool.
I was trying to like just hold back. I'm like, don't like be weird.
Don't be weird, Jaby.
And she's super cool and super down to earth and super nice. And I like what she stands for. I like how she's communicating her message. Thank you so much again to RAKHEE Sandilya. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation with us. It was an honor for me. And I do hope to get to meet you the next time we're in India. Everybody else, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, please do check out Ribbon. We gave away a lot of stuff if you haven't watched Ribbon and you watch this interview. But even with that in mind, I don't think that can take away from the emotional impact of the film. I would definitely say please go watch it if you haven't already, whenever it's in your area. And I'm hoping to get to watch it again when it's at the film festival in December. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out Achara KIRK on the social media. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Achara KIRK.
Peace out.